Plasmum is exactly what like what a snake oil salesman ghost paranormal investigator would say. I've never wanted to have sex with a pot pie, but like I'd have sex with that pot pie.
We're all weak to stepping on nails.
Let me preface this by saying I wrote a script.
Daytona Beach is like 2 mild inconveniences from being a post-apocalyptic wasteland anyway.
So many of my tabs say semen.
Just gonna Google old Western women's names. You can't handcuff me for skanking.
This motherfucker gaslights you.
Diet Coke and Sorrow will be chapter 4.
And against all odds, Kyle, we became those squirrely weirdos.
This whole podcast is a very negative mouthfeel.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the season premiere of season 4.
Holy shit. It's season 4.
We did it.
We
What's
made
up,
it,
Even
y'all.
though this is the beginning.
It's season 4. There was a tasty new intro there, probably, as long as Kyle and I got our lives together
his
today.
job.
And this is Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how WandaVision, premiering this Friday, marks the end of the longest time I've gone without thinking about Paul Bettany.
Holy shit, right?
You don't
Yeah.
do your daily Paul Bettany devotionals, Matt?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he's been in like a movie at least like every year for a while.
Yeah,
Since
Yeah.
2008.
Yep.
Or so, yeah.
Kyle, I have not been doing my Paul Devotanies.
I don't know why. I don't know why in this podcast we talk about Paul Bettany. Well, I do know why, but I'm going to bring this up for like the 4th time. Was his creepy character in Da Vinci Code. That was like,
Oh yeah.
I think that was like the first like major introduction of Paul Bettany to the mass markets.
I think I watched that movie on a plane.
Yeah, it's very much a movie.
All right, now, my dudes, it is most excellent to have you all back in the DT Exclamation Point Situation Room, the DT HQSR, if you will.
I won't.
Here,
I don't know how I feel about this bit.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
It's definitely gotten more elaborate.
Yeah.
And it's really just for Matt.
but it's
think
good.
it's
I
for
like
Matt.
it. It's a good bit. So anyway,
Yeah.
here in the DT HQSR, here in the Victorian Mansion Mountain Cave, that is the aforementioned DT Exclamation Point HQ, I hope you all enjoyed your year-end holiday leave and have returned with refreshed minds and confused muscles.
I hope we're all accepting that Matt just established canonically what our headquarters is now. Like that's the first
we
time.
live in the Resident Evil house.
That's the first time what our headquarters looks like has been established.
The deep cut I was going for was actually Marvel's The Runaways, the Hulu series.
okay.
Nah, we're in Resident Evil now.
Unfortunately, while we were out of office, it appears as though some ancient spirits have awakened and decided to haunt our proverbial Batcave. Huge bummer.
I hate it when
man.
that happens.
Oh, dang.
Beans. So I reached out to the hottest new ghost hunting team in town, Phasmophobia.llc, and they weren't able to send a team out our way. But have no fear, they did help me narrow it down to the particular type of ghost that is haunting our halls. And they told me that we can easily exorcise this demon as soon as we identify exactly which ghost it is. Now, the subsect of Spectre that we're dealing with here at DT Exclamation Point HQ is a breed that has been haunting the maze-like hallways of the world since 1980. They're easily identified by their bright-colored, parabolic nature and habit of hanging out together in small centralized locations. They move methodically and turn into disembodied eyeballs when you eat them. That's right, folks. Debate This headquarters is being haunted by one of the ghosts from Pac-Man.
The
Feels right.
first Pac-Man appearance on this podcast.
Yeah.
Is it really?
is.
Wow.
You would have thought we would have talked about like the power pellets in the first 3 years, but we haven't.
Nope.
Here we are.
Yeah, somebody write that down. We should...
Someone mark it in the spreadsheet
We'll return to Pac-Man.
so we don't have to ask about
Yeah.
I have to put in my password. It's fine.
So I reached out to Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, but unfortunately they've gotten really into keto over quarantine and have decided to lay off the power pellets. Instead...
Wait, hold on. This is really important. I know we're not going to talk about power pellets. I know we're not going to talk about power pellets. But doesn't power pellets sound like exactly the thing that would be keto?
Yeah,
Yes.
it sure does.
Yeah, uh-huh. Power pellets is absolutely a supplement that you can buy at GNC.
I think Joe Rogan sells them.
Beta block and power pellets.
Yeah.
Anyway, instead, I am left today with Todd, Zach Baggins Thomas, Andrew Grant Wilson Henderson, and Kyle Josh Gates Harper to help me identify and disperse this ghoul.
Okay, I know Grant Wilson is Ghost Hunters.
You are correct.
I don't know the other two.
Are these just three of those bad ghost hunting shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Assuming
They are 3 famous television ghost hunters. Zach Baggins is from probably the most famous one, Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures. Grant Wilson is Ghost Hunters. And then I do have to give Josh Gates a little credit. He's on Destination Truth on Sci-Fi, which is much less... Was that a noise?
Ooh.
And much more
I've seen
like
Destination Truth. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
pretty
that.
good. I like Josh
Yeah.
Gates a lot. I just needed a third recognizable TV ghost hunter, and that's a small pool.
Fair.
All right.
So, my friends, please state your case. Which Pac-Man ghost do you believe is haunting DT Exclamation Point HQ, and what do you know about them? Todd, we'll start with you.
Well, Matt, from what you've shared, it sounds like you've got quite the complex Spectre situation. Based off what I've already gathered, you said that they move methodically, but maybe not like too methodically, perhaps in a fickle fashion of sorts. And you said at times they're blue, but maybe not always blue. And even then, maybe a color blue that, like, if you were to ask a group of people, no one could really agree exactly what color or shade of blue that is. You'd ask a group and they'd give you like 4 different names. And we're going to have to do some more investigation. We'll talk more about it in here, I think. But it sounds like you got yourself a classic inky infestation situation here, Matt. And I'm going to tell you, this Stygian apparition's no joke. You can't mess around with this. It's going to be smart. It's going to be unpredictable. It's going to be at times aggressive. It's a real bad situation, but I'm going to guess right now you've got an inky situation here.
For those of you listening at home, I need to point out that watching Todd say this is like watching SNL people do skits, because he's clearly reading a list of ghost words and just trying to ram jam those bad boys in
as
there.
many of those in.
Yeah. How many more Stygian specters are we gonna get?
Listen, I did a synonym search for inky and ghost, and inky brought back Stygian, and
Can you use Stygian in a sentence, please?
It's goopy. It's viscous. It's dark and gross.
I Stygias. He, she, it Stygias.
Hey, look at that ghost over there. It's Stygian. Anyway, Matt, the point is, I think you're infested with an inky ghost, and I'm just gonna go ahead and suggest we need to build a moat or whatever around like the closest gravesite you've got on the premises. We just gotta block off that ghost situation, isolate it behind a body of water or something. It's bad.
I don't know much about isolating ghosts behind bodies of water.
I do. Ask away.
Not the response I expected. Is that a thing? Does that work?
If you're playing Sims 2 and you want to keep ghosts from getting into your house, you
I
got
was
to put a
wondering
pool
where that
around
came
them,
from.
Matt.
All
Very
right.
specific reference.
Well, we're mixing lore here.
Do you have a moat guy, Todd? Can you get us a quote on a moat?
Ooh.
A moat quote?
Well, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do we're gonna open up the debug menu and type in Rosebud, and then it won't matter because we can just build whatever we want to.
Okay.
Because we'll have unlimited simoleons.
Okay, well.
Are we gonna talk about The Sims in this podcast?
No, I don't want to talk about The
Not.
Sims. No, I definitely don't. Listen, I have had many an inky infestation in my life, and none of them have been pleasant. So I hope that you're not correct. Andrew, what ghost do you think is haunting our headquarters?
All right. Well, I'm going to play the 30-year-old white man who owns a podcast, and I'm going to answer your question by correcting you. So listen,
Whatever, man.
there are a lot of hacks who are going to come in and just freely throw around the word ghost. But let me be very clear here, Matt, because in my notes I say, let me be very clear here, Kyle.
I saw it in there and I wasn't gonna stop you.
Not removing it. What you have here is not a ghost problem. Now, sure, Inky, Pinky, Clyde, yes, all common examples of what lay people commonly call ghosts. But I have it on good authority that the DT Exclamation Point HQ has been overrun by the demonic force demonologists refer to as the Blindolphernus Kazol, aka Blinky.
What?
A lot of people are saying it.
Also, you have the energy right now of when I take my car to Valvoline and I'm like, I need an oil change. And they're like, have you gotten your transmission fluid done? And I say, no, I asked for an oil change. I asked for a ghost, Andrew. Why did you bring demons to this party?
Now listen, despite this apparition's cute and innocent demeanor, I assure you, the Blinky is a malevolent force not to be reckoned with, and I suggest you vacate immediately and burn this building to the ground because there is nothing that can be done.
I don't know that we talked enough about
Blindolphernus
Blindolphernus. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an industry term. You know, most common people have shortened it. So we just call it the Blinky. I'm going to continue to do the
Put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
In my notes, I have KY capitalized. Blinky.
In this audio podcast, it's important that you explain that.
You're welcome, everybody.
All right, fine. Kyle, go ahead. What do you have?
Well, Matt, it's a good thing you called me in, because you're right. You got a real ghost problem around these parts. Seen this thing at least 11 times. You see, when these particular batch of ghosts get to haunting a place, they all come in to haunt for a while, but then they like to move on to a new spot. So it's real bad when you get a Blinky, a Pinky, or even an Inky. When they need to move on to this orange dummy, you know you've ignored your ghost problem a little too long. Yeah, I can clear Clyde out for you, but it won't be easy and it won't be cheap.
Is this...
Wait.
Yeah, hold on.
Are you just talking about a septic tank? Because it sounds like you're talking about a septic tank.
No, this is a ghost exterminator who's seen it all. He's unfazed by your ghost
times.
problem because he's handled them all.
This is Kentuckian Harold Ramis coming to my door with Alabama Dan Aykroyd to clear this ghost problem out. Okay, so... I don't know. I feel like I should have a question here, but you did the accent. You just kind of derailed me, and I'm here. I'm here for it. So you have proposed your theories to me, and if you all are to be believed, the ghost of HQ is either Inky, Blinky, or Clyde. Now, I need some evidence.
Excuse me, that's Blinky.
Don't give him that.
I absolutely refuse.
It's the Stygian ghost, Blinky, or Clyde.
The Blinky.
All right, fine. What proof do you have that you've picked the right ghost, and why is your ghost the most likely to be the one terrifying the people of Coolsville?
Is our headquarters now canonically in Coolsville?
Oh.
Well, I couldn't give them the real location.
Oh, okay, fair. Never mind.
It's like Springfield. It could be like 4 different
Retracted.
states.
We're in Coolsville, USA.
That sounds like the city where Guy Fieri would live. So
Yep,
this
it's
feels
the one
right.
that it's the one that lives in his mind.
Matt, when you're dealing with blue undead, you should automatically assume the worst. And Inky is no different. Inky is, as I said, unpredictable, which seems to be a theme I've picked up on based upon what you told me when we came into this. And so, first and foremost,
no. What did I tell? What did I tell you that led you to believe that was true?
No, you said go. You just got to check the record. You said that you would. Well, I mean, you wouldn't have called me in here to help identify this ghost if it was predictable in all forms of nature.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah. All right. Accepted. Continue.
Okay. So let's go. And just say, so first and foremost, the only reliable bit of data that we have for a classic Inky haunting is that we should expect the unexpected. The one thing we can rely on is it's not reliable, right? And so it does suck, doesn't it? And here's what we know, and here's why this is an issue here, Matt. Inky has been known to go from being aggressive to those who threaten it, to wander uninhabited areas of the map grid, the house, and sometimes even adjust its known path to get ahead of the person or the persons it's choosing to haunt. Inky is unpredictable being made of pure hatred. And it's wise, Matt. And it's also fickle. It'll wait. Inky will wait. He'll plot. And suddenly, he'll execute his diabolical plan when you least expect it. Matt, I'm just going to reason with you here. The people of Coolville should gather their cherries and ingest their power pellets if they hope to survive the night. Then again, if you're going to be pursued by Inky, running and hiding is just exactly what he's planned you'll be doing. You'll just die tired and confused.
90 pellets of power pellets available on the Debate This website for only $79.99.
If you actually go to powerpellets.com/debate, we get 10% back on each one.
Use code Stygian at checkout. Code Stygian. All right, Todd, question for you. So, my knowledge of Pac-Man ghosts is, I would say, cursory at best. And
okay, that's why we're here. We're the pros.
Right, exactly. That's why I called you. But if I had to describe all of the Pac-Man ghosts, I think I would describe them all as unpredictable. And
that's your first mistake.
Is this really just an Inky thing? Is Inky actually less predictable than Blinky and Clyde?
Oh yeah, for sure. When you're dealing with a Blinky situation, there's gonna be a lot of following, a lot of shadowing.
When can I push my glasses up?
Oh, you gotta wait. I'm too busy.
Wait, we've been doing this podcast for 4 years, and you still gotta ask?
I'm too busy twanging my suspenders. Is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, when you got a Blinky situation, they're just gonna follow. You got a real follower ghost, and you got a Clyde. They'll follow sometimes, and other times just wander.
Oh, that sounds pretty unpredictable.
It's either one or the other, so it seems pretty predictable.
Now, Matt, I would like to completely argue everything that Todd has just said and give you undisputable fact. First of all, the Blinky does not follow Inky. Inky follows the Blinky. Okay.
Oh, I was saying that your Blinky follows whatever it's haunting. I mean,
that's correct.
Yeah, so like if you got a haunting situation here, Matt, which sounds like you do. And if they came to you and said, "Oh, this ghost is just following us everywhere. That's all it's doing." Seems like that'd be a pretty easy fix.
I don't know. There was a movie called It Follows and made a bunch of money on that concept. So,
if we're using that logic, then yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you. I think you're gonna have some other ghost folk telling you why their ghost is dangerous and your people should be worried. But I'm gonna unpredictable haunting being made of pure hatred seems like an issue.
Andrew, I don't know that Todd gave me any actual evidence.
It's because he didn't.
I'm going to turn to you now.
Sounds like a hack.
Yeah. He is. Well, I called it right, Kyle. Fist bump.
Kyle stepped off of his wagon that says snake oil.
I do want to just to level set. Would like to ask that we use the correct terminology when referring to the entity that is the Blinky.
This is what you did, Matt. You did this.
Calling this anomaly a ghost implies that the Blinky once lived among us as human. However, the Blinky, despite all of the other entities, is nothing but pure hate and absolute vengeance. Unlike the other three spirits who we believe actually to be fairly harmless spirits just simply awaiting passage into the afterlife, this amalgamation of malfeasance has absolutely no destiny, no final resting place. It exists purely to torment the living in any way it can, simply because it can. Now, during my team's thorough investigation of the DT Exclamation Point building, we came across a young woman, who at first glance seemed to be completely normal. I was concerned, however, that this particular individual was just hanging out around a building that we assumed to be haunted. When I called out, I saw something otherworldly. The woman had pale greenish skin, almost white hair, and was disturbingly gaunt. And she did that 180-degree exorcist head turn thing as she screamed out like a blood-curdling shriek and summoned what I can only be the legions of the damned. I will remind listeners that we have established that superheroes live in DT Exclamation Point HQ, and specifically Dead Girl it just hangs out at DT Exclamation Point HQ. Please look for that episode or look up Dead Girl on Marvel Wiki. Now, fortunately, one of my team was able to capture this whole thing on the thermal camera. And if you look, and this is me showing you the thermal camera readout, this very fuzzy spot here, you can tell, yeah, this is demonic possession, 100%.
We're going to post
Now-
that picture on our Instagram.
I definitely have it to post. Now, my team and I have spent years studying the spirits that haunt the hallowed mazes of the late great Pac-Man. And for years, these schmucks, Kyle and Todd, have oversimplified things by referring to all 4 of these spirits as ghosts. But we looked deeper and found something no one else has. Now, let me explain why Todd is so very much mistaken. A cursory view of the movement patterns of the spirits would suggest a sort of randomness about it. But if you study the movement patterns of each spirit individually, you'll find that they aren't random at all, despite what Todd would let you believe. I think I just turned into Tucker Carlson somehow.
Andrew's broken.
Nothing matters. Now, what's more, the ghosts all follow actually a very separate yet distinct logic. There is virtually no randomness about this. Each spirit begins, let's call it a level, by taking up residence in a designated corner. And then they each follow their own series of logic. Now, this is when it becomes immediately clear that the Blinky's intentions are way more sinister than its ghostly peers. The Blinky is the only of the 4 spirits that actually seems to be chasing the Pac-Man. Now, sure, each of the others can do harm, but the Blinky's patterns are significantly less erratic than the others. The Blinky is the first one out of the gate, and every time makes a direct path to the Pac-Man, no matter where he is. Now, this behavior suggests that it's actually the Blinky who is the only one of the group with the intentions to catch the Pac-Man. The rest are just kind of happening upon him. And why is the Blinky the only one chasing the Pac-Man? Because Blinky wants to possess the Pac-Man spirit and become the Pac-Man. Why would these other friendly ghosts with unfinished business want to catch a human Pac-Man? The answer is that they don't. But a demon, Matt, a demon would. Henceforth, the Blinky, the demonic presence that's haunting DT Exclamation Point HQ. I rest my case.
Yeah, I would just like to get on the record from my extensive research of the Inky. It's important just to say
you can't start it with it though. That's my thing.
of inky haunting situations. It has been noted scientifically that he is unpredictable. That is based in
By whom?
the famed paranormal investigator Wikipedia. And is also dubbed as, in fact, the smartest of the Pac-Man ghosts. So when it is noted as unpredictable and the smartest, I don't think you can argue that there is rhyme nor reason to its hauntings.
Look, Matt, I don't know what these eggheads are telling you. What gizmos this guy's using or anything like that. I can tell you, though, you got all the obvious signs of a Clyde haunting. You got your randomly scattered fruit. You got your missing power pellets. You got your repetitive techno music blasting down the halls. See that in the corner there, Matt? That's orange ectoplasmum. It's the calling card of old Clyde.
Plasmum?
It's my favorite flower, the ectoplasmum.
Plasmum is exactly what what a snake oil salesman ghost paranormal investigator would say. Classic plasmum over there.
That's the orange ectoplasmum. That's all points to Clyde, Matt. Now Andrew's right. He's gonna ask a little different than the Blinky, I guess. See, Clyde's a little shy. He's gonna run right up to you, try to spook you real bit, but he's gonna run right back off. And this causes a whole lot of problems. Causes a whole lot of problems because they're hard to predict. They're hard to find. They run away. But if you stand your ground, follow him back, you can usually spook old Clyde right back into his cozy little corner where he goes to hide, and you can catch him right there. And that's exactly what we're going to do, Matt.
I don't know that anyone really gave me evidence of why your ghost is the ghost haunting my tower. Or my...
That gave you something about, I called back Dead Girl. That counts.
I don't listen to conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
It's right there. Right there in the corner.
Yeah, I am going to go fashion myself a tinfoil hat while you guys continue to persuade me that you are the one who has pegged the correct ghost. Before we make any action plans, I need some help digging through the details of your research. Go ahead and take the rest of your time to show me the evidence that proves that our post-death pal isn't one of the other two options.
Yeah, Matt, this is real easy. Started telling you some of this in the last one, but I'll just keep going. Matt, you called me the greatest ghost hunter that came up in the sponsored results of your Google search.
He didn't call you that.
Yeah. First off, Todd, I didn't call you anything.
No, but
actually,
you called...
no, that's a lie. I called you. Did I call you Zach Baggins? I called you Zach Baggins.
Okay. You searched for ghost hunters in your area, and the sponsored algorithm that I have paid to promote my name to the top gave you me. And so
I got on Tinder and I was like, man, searching for ghost hunters.
Yeah, and because you got me here because you have a mystery to solve. And you know, Matt, that tells me that there's a level of unpredictability in the behaviors that are being
Oh my God,
witnessed.
how many times are you going to use unpredictability as your argument?
Almost as many as we're going to say Stygian before we're done recording this episode.
There is a nature to Poltergeist that is not predictable, and
some might call it unpredictable.
Some may.
Some among us could know what it's going to do.
That are being witnessed here at DT Exclamation Point HQ. That immediately, Matt, counts out Blinky as a possible spectral culprit. Just right off the top. I've, when on occasion, studied some Blinkies. They lurk, they stalk, they may speed up at times, but that's about it.
They attack. They also protect.
They protect.
They protect. And I'll tell you, Matt, in that same Google search where you used to find me, if you just searched the term red ghost that follows, that top result comes up as Blinky. That's it. Do it right now. Red ghost that follows. That brings up Blinky.
Red ghost that
sounds
follows.
Like a knockoff It Follows movie. The asylum version of It Follows.
I give credit that Blinky, whose real name is listed as Shadow, I feel like we haven't talked about that enough, is a red ghost who, in the original arcade game, follows behind Pac-Man. He is considered the leader of the ghosts.
Yeah, and so okay, we'll keep going. And that said, if your ghost follows, some of the time, but not all the time, and then just kind of wanders a bit at other times, that there, Matt, that's a classic Clyde situation. And I don't think that's what you have going on here. Clydes are known to be a real simple poltergeist, and in fact, not really even a concern, in my opinion. They're really just like a chill ghost bro. More or less,
I would actually have to agree with that.
Yeah, and either way, when you're dealing with a Clyde, if you watch his pattern for a few minutes, you'd know what you got. Now, with an Inky, you never know what's up. Which again, you're lucky you found a paid professional like me off my Yelp page. I've gone through, I've checked your boxes here today, Matt, and it's led me to check every box that tells you this is an Inky haunting. Otherwise, you would have solved this spooky mystery on your own and not needed to call me in, because you're a smart man who would have searched red ghost that follows.
Oh my God.
And you would have said, not Blinky. And so I'm here and I've solved your very unpredictable haunting situation. And that's what this is.
Wow. That was something, but you complimented me at the end, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, you're a smart man.
Andrew, go ahead.
All right. I'm not going to tell you the same thing 4 times, but in different order.
Is your ghost unpredictable?
I was going to say,
it's not unpredictable.
If you use the word unpredictable, you get slimed with ectoplasm.
So here's the deal. We've already established that your particular haunt is that of a demonic presence. And I think my case on that is ironclad. We do not have to revisit that.
There's no need nor time to talk about it.
No,
Continue.
No, we don't have enough time. But what I will explain to you is why I believe that the Blinky is the only potential culprit, because the other 3 entities are, I would argue, completely friendly, non-harmful spirits. Now, I'm sure that Todd will try to convince you that his Casper adjacent option is unpredictable and super horrifying. However, Inky is 100% predictable. Inky's entire thing, after hours and hours of footage of the hallowed mazes of the Pac-Man, we have concluded that Inky, no, now I'm doing it. Inky's entire pattern is that Inky will try to go ahead of the Pac-Man versus behind. Now, Inky's specifically if there is a Blinky also in the room, and our footage happened to have both, Inky will try to outflank the Pac-Man, but also follow in the footsteps of the Blinky, kind of feeding off of the Blinky's inherent evil presence. But here's what's interesting. As I try to reclaim to where I was in my notes, because I went a little bit off script, Inky, Pinky, Clyde's behavior are all more in line with a typical ghostly entity. The idea of a ghost, you've got your ghost, you've got poltergeists, and you've got demons, right? And those are all kind of considered to be sister concepts in the spirit world. These are all,
Sure.
phrases that we use in the industry. Sure. Oftentimes, ghosts are considered to be harmless. They are kind of spirits that are long past, kind of completing unfinished business, if you will, but oftentimes they will go through the same motions that they did in life. Now, Inky and by equivalence, Pinky, the one that we're not talking about, both move around attempting to get ahead of Pac-Man, which suggests some prior knowledge or even some like strategic cognitive thought, right? Kind of like the essence of a military general who's trying to outwit their opponent, or someone on a chessboard, trying to kind of think a couple moves ahead, right? Clyde, similarly, I would argue is probably the most human-like, where he will actually just scatter away from Pac-Man, as we've explained, if he gets too close. One could say Clyde isn't even chasing him at all. Rather, he's more just like a paparazzo, just trying to get close to get that shot of Pac-Man. He just wants to get in there. Now, you will not find that level of cognitive thought consistent with demonic spirits. The demonic spirit, the Blinky, only understands rage. It only hungers. Its only one and only desire is to sow the seeds of chaos. And that, my friend, is why Blinky is a demon and not a ghost, and also haunting the halls of DT Exclamation Point HQ. It's the only potential solution.
I understand and appreciate everything Andrew had said, but I'm going to focus on his last sentence. Chaos seems pretty unpredictable.
Goddamn.
And just
chaos and rage are
confused.
two very different things, sir. I do think you tripped over your dick on the finish line there.
It's okay. I used it in a different context, but you wouldn't understand. It plays at the industry events, but that's fine.
Sounds pretty Stygian to me.
All I know is that every time you say the bling key, all I can think of is like a house key with a lot of bedazzled jewels on it, like a bling key. Yeah. Yep. All right, Kyle, go ahead. Tear the other two down. Build yourself up. Why can it not be the other two? Why must it be Clyde?
See, Matt, I see why the other two are real confused, because it gets real tricky here, and it's good that you called in a professional like me. See, it can be real easy to mistake Clyde for one of their buddies, and it takes an eye trained in ghost hunting to spot the difference. It's real easy to think you got a Blinky when you actually got a Clyde.
Excuse me, it's a Blinky.
It's not.
It isn't.
Because Blinky likes to charge people too. But if Blinky was around, we wouldn't be standing here having this conversation, because we'd be interrupted right now by a ghost.
By a demonic possession, exactly.
A demonic apparition, if you want to listen to Egghead there. And since we are able to have this conversation, I can tell you right away, not a Blinky. Because he's real full of rage, just likes to Leroy Jenkins his way right into a crowd. So I know we don't got a Blinky right now. And we know it's not a Pinky, because Clyde can move more than one step ahead at a time. Pinky just kind of lives in the moment, does its own thing. That's not what we're dealing with here. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because the Inkies can be real erratic or unpredictable, as some people like to say, too. Likes to run people down like a Blinky, likes to cut you off like a Pinky, or it'll just wander around so you can't get a good scope on him.
Like a Clyde?
But be real glad. Inky seems to have left you by, because they're a real pain in the keister. No, we got a Clyde here. They like to set up shop, settle in for the long haul. So if you'll excuse me, Matt, I'm going to go get to work. I'm going to go wait in their corner for them to come back. And don't worry, don't move, because that big baby won't come in here and hurt you. Because, like I said, it's real easy to spook. So that's why we got a Blinky. Or that's why we got a Clyde.
The defense rests.
Stuck the landing.
Wow. All right. That was something else. That was really That was really something. So here's the deal, my friends. I think that one of you is probably correct. I don't think
Thank you.
that Pinky is the ghost that's haunting this cave mansion, Victorian cave mansion. I think
Yeah,
that
I lost
Resident
the-
Evil house.
I lost the plot there.
yeah, it's a little gone. I do think that it is either Inky, Blinky, or Clyde. And when I talked to the people at phasmophobia.llc, they told me that I could exorcise that ghost. I just needed to know for sure which ghost it was. So I actually have not only a super secret bonus question, but a super secret bonus task for you. I need you to bring an item to the seance that we're about to have here at DT Exclamation Point HQ that will summon your ghost so that we can confirm or deny that it is your ghost haunting DT Exclamation Point HQ. Take some time, go to your vans that I'm sure you drove here, gather whatever items you need, and I will take your answers right after this. Hey everyone. Sorry if you were expecting the Wii Shop music. Lucky for you, there are like 1,500 covers on YouTube and Spotify and wherever else you stream music. I'm here today to tell you that we would like to fill this slot with something other than the Wii Shop music. We've sort of reached the point with this podcast that we would really love to take on a sponsor or two. And we're not looking for your quips or your lawnmowers or your purple mattresses, although I would very much like at least 2 of those 3 things. I'll let you decide which 2. We are looking for indie creators in the nerd space just like us. We are not trying to get rich off this show. We just want to help spread indie nerd culture around the globe. So if you are someone who makes dice, if you are an artist who takes commissions, if you have a video game or nerd or comic related brand, we would love to run an ad for you on the show. We've put together some sponsorship packages, and we've made sure to keep the price point low enough that people like us would be able to afford it. So if you have any interest in advertising with us, or you know someone who might, shoot us an email and get in touch at debatethiscast@gmail.com. Yes, come back in. Thank you. Don't bother with the door. If the ghost leaves, then I don't have to pay you guys. Come back into the mansion and tell me, my friends, what item have you brought to seance this ghost? Is that a thing? Do you seance ghosts? Is seance a verb?
I don't
Or is
think
seance
it's
a
verb.
noun? Oh, I know
I
it's
think
a
it's
noun.
only a noun.
Okay.
I think it's only a noun.
It's a thing that happens.
As the ghost
An
professional here, yes.
Oh god.
That, I guess it was a yes or no question. All right, so what item have you brought to seance your ghost, Todd?
Yeah, Inky is random. His intentions, unknown. And the way that your specific Inky was summoned was by someone burning just 3 random items chosen through a purely demonic algorithm. That's how it got here. And so to follow the through line, you're now asking me to summon it again? Is that what we're doing? We're re-summoning the Inky ghost? Is that?
Well, the idea here is that there's only one ghost in the mansion cave, Victorian.
If we bring it right here, we can all capture it right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
going
But
to now
you're the ghost expert, so you already knew that. So.
Well, I'm just making sure.
We don't need
Okay.
to-
We're all ready to cross the streams. You just got to bring it here.
Yeah. Great. So I'm going to. So like I said, the only way to summon your Inky is to burn 3 items chosen through a purely demonic algorithm. So Matt, what we have to do today is I've pulled up a website that chooses random Amazon items for you at random. And so the 3 items we're going to need to seance this Inky is going to be a package of Vermont uncured pepperoni slices, a battery-powered camping lamp, and men's V-neck white undershirt. So if you have those 3 items, that is what it's going to take to resummon this Inky. If you're curious what summoned it the first time, I did some investigation.
My buddy does home cleanings if you need to get the smell of burnt sausages out of your kitchen when you're done with this, because this ain't going to work.
Yeah, the first time it was summoned, it was heavy-duty toolbox liners, a pair of women's leggings, and a 200-piece Tinker Toy set. So I don't know where you got those 3 items from.
Wow. Incredibly specific.
Last week I had another one, and it was a short sleeve SpaceX T-shirt.
No, I'm gonna answer the question now. Thank you. I'm
A
gonna answer. It's my turn.
Sportsman
I have a
lawn
real
chair,
answer. I'm not just
and-
naming things off Amazon. It's my turn now.
and a shirt that says U.S. Paratroopers
Okay, so
Camp
Matt,
Toka,
so my
Georgia.
answer to get rid of the
hold-
blanket.
Andrew, hold on. I have one question. Todd, for write-off purposes, can you give me the total that I'm going to need to spend on the 3 items you listed? Or have you already randomized those away?
Once I click the random product, I lose the item, Matt.
All right.
We're gonna have to guess, and we're gonna never get it right.
Just bill me on a receipt. Andrew, go ahead.
All right, so I've already established the Blinky only knows one thing, and that is the pure rage and lust for overpowering one's opponent.
You
Right,
also
the
said
Blinky-
chaos though, which is a different thing, and 2 things. So
We're
maybe
gonna get there. Thank you.
maybe not.
And also,
Maybe
you
not
lost-
one thing.
I thought you had an accent. This is so weird.
It comes and goes.
Are you Alec Baldwin's wife?
Kyle's like someone who studied abroad for a semester.
Yeah,
Real good at code
so
switching.
We need to match the Blinky's lust for power with its mortal enemy. The only thing that history has shown is be able to beat all of the Pac-Man spirits again and again and again. And of course, that's retro games champion Billy Mitchell. So what we need to do is, because this is a demonic presence, we need to channel the energy of the Blinky, that negative energy, into another object that it can kind of contain, like seal away the demonic presence. So all you need for the seance, just one thing. It's not something you can get off Amazon. It is the American flag tie that Billy Mitchell always wears. If you get that, put it in a circle of tea lights, we can then subsequently channel the energies of the Blinky into Billy Mitchell's tie.
Billy Mitchell's American flag tie.
It's gonna possess the tie.
Yes, it actually just creates a second Billy Mitchell. It's kind of weird.
Arguably worse than what we're currently dealing
Not
with.
better, but different.
Okay, so I'll be honest. My goal was to get the ghost out of the mansion cave.
Did I not get him
Not-
out? Billy Mitchell walks away.
But now there are 2 Billy Mitchells. Like, that's a problem. So that's
Well, he could deal with it.
gonna
I mean,
be
you
someone
know,
else's issue.
not yours.
Yeah, but I unlike many people in America, suffer repercussions for my actions. Kyle, finish us out. What is the item needed to seance Clyde?
Well, Matt, I don't know about a seance per se, but I have some luck setting ghost traps here and there, and I found what really works for Clyde. You make a
Just a
pentagram.
bunch of mouse traps.
You make a pentagram out of power pellets. We got 90 tablets for sale here for one easy payment of $89.99. Pentagram out of power pellets. At each of the points of the pentagram, you're going to put a cherry, a strawberry, an orange, an apple, and a melon. And then right in the middle there of that pentagram, I got photo evidence here to show you if you want. Clyde really likes wearing bowler hats. So we're going to put a bowler hat right in the middle of that pentagram. Bing, bang, boom. Clyde shows up. We zap him in our Ghostbuster trap. We take him out of here for you. That's all it is.
I have
No,
a question. I've been raising my hand as a question. This is out of character. Can we unpack that bowler hat situation?
Yeah, you said you had photographic evidence, and I didn't expect to need it, but it turns out I am going to need that photographic evidence.
yeah. I got a couple pictures here. Let me just throw these into our.
Boy.
And we'll actually post these ones on the Instagram.
Yeah,
These
for
ones
sure.
will make its way to the
This will be
internet.
the episode icon.
There's
Yeah.
one. There's Clyde in a
look at
bowler
that.
hat.
He does have a bowler hat.
And,
Okay.
and there's Clyde in a bowler hat. So suck it, nerds.
Ooh, that second
All
one
right.
is a little bit more upsetting. I like that second one
Yeah.
less.
This guy. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right.
You're talking about ghosts over here. All right. Well, I've got bowler hats, but also I need a lot of fruit and maybe something that only Joe Rogan sells.
No, I got a bottle in my truck for you.
Okay.
Oh.
Do I get 10% off with the promo code Stygian?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that. And then Andrew, I don't even remember. Oh, a tie. I need the American tie so I can summon a man. And
Yeah.
Well, man.
Okay, not to correct you again, but to create a second copy of said man. So,
and then Todd needed some other shit.
How many copies of that man you got wandering around out there?
a non-zero
you got
amount
many of them
Mitchell.
copies of the mans about back there?
No, I mean the universe tends to set itself right eventually.
Yeah, that's what Wonder Woman 1984 taught me. So anyway, I need you to finish this out. Like, I've got some things to do. I need to make a decision. I need to sign a contract. So if you could just, in one quick closing statement for me here, give me the reason that I should be the most afraid of your ghost. I mean, I have to pick which of these ghosts I think it is, and honestly, I'm probably afraid of whatever's haunting me. I don't know, now I'm talking to myself in character, but go ahead and tell me why your ghost is the scariest of the ghosts. Todd.
Easy. Inky is
You say
easily,
unpredictable.
Easy. No, I will not. Inky is easily the most fearsome of the ghosts because a ghost whose intentions are unknown and whose actions are impossible to predict is certainly the one you should be the most afraid of.
All right, Andrew?
Okay, Matt. The deal is of each of the 4 Pac-Man spirits. By studying the patterns, by studying the movements, we know inconclusively. We know without a doubt
Unpredictably.
that the Blinky is by far the most dangerous of the 4 entities. The other 3, they're quite frankly just living their afterlives. They're repeating patterns. They're repeating things that they did while they were living. But the Blinky is the only one that has a lust for blood. In this case, soul blood. Doesn't matter. The Blinky is a demon. The haunting is a demonic presence. Case closed. Oh, I'll give you that name one more time. It was the Blindolphinus Kazul. So
Is that canon? Did you pull that from anything? Did you make that up?
I made that up.
All right.
I like it. I like dark, deep lore. That's awesome.
I respect your honesty. Kyle, go ahead.
Look, Matt, I'm not going to tell you that Clyde's the most fearsome ghost out there. You'd have a much bigger problem on your hands if, in fact, you did have a Blinky in the house. But Clyde's the one you got, and that's why you should be afraid of him. Inky, Blinky, and Pinky, they seem to have all come and left based on what I'm seeing around here. But Clyde's here to stay, and if you don't deal with him, it's gonna be a problem for a while, and that's why you should be afraid of him.
Kyle, are you saying that I've already had 3 ghosts in my house and didn't know it?
You thought they were all the same ghost. That happens a lot. You get scared, you run away, you don't get a good look at it.
So this is my 4th ghost, but the first 3 were asymptomatic.
Pretty much.
Good. Okay.
All those power pellets you keep around.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go talk with the HR department and contact billing, and we're gonna make a decision on this contract. But if you guys could give each other some good vibes, I think everybody needs a little bit of that these days.
Yeah, I love everything you did for Blinky, Andrew. I just kind of said it there a minute ago, but this was a fun outing of trying to add depth to Pac-Man ghosts, and I think if we were to go into some like deep dark lore for Pac-Man ghosts, I think that's probably the most fun thing we could do. And so your whatever the name was you came up for Blinky.
I don't want to say it ever
I don't
again.
want you to say it, and I also don't
Well,
want
if
to
we
say it more
one
than
more
once.
time, we summon it.
Summon it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very, very good. I liked that a lot. Kyle, you trying to roll into town and peddle this like aimlessly wandering ghost Clyde as the thing that we've got is very good. My favorite actually just came from your closing where like you may not have wanted Clyde, but Clyde's the one you got. Really just kind of told me that Clyde is the I want fast food, but we have food at home ghost. I want to go get a ghost. No, we got ghosts at home. Oh, but it's a Clyde. Like, that's what that is.
You both, Todd and Kyle, both brought the energy of a cable TV ghost hunter so perfect. Like the 2 different schools of TV ghost hunters so absolutely perfectly. Like I think I was coming in as the sci-fi channel, but you guys were like definitely like Todd was true TV, right? Like Todd comes in, it's like, yeah, so we got a schmiglorfabin over here. Like, what the fuck, man? And he's got a paper, like a notepad, but it's just like crayons, and it's like, oh fuck. Looks like you got a down. Well, we might better go get the and just completely like make it up on the spot. I don't know if you're doing that on purpose or that was just you, but that was either way. It was really funny. Also, you perfectly envelop the personality of the movement pattern of Inky, which is unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Cannot be predicted.
Kyle, if any of the 4 Pac-Man ghosts are just like a dude, it's definitely Clyde.
It might be a ghost. It might be a guy living in your kitchen. It's hard to know.
Yeah, he's just like a really chill bro, and I think everything that you've presented today 100% convinces me that Clyde is just a chill bro. He is the most Casper of all these 4 ghosts.
Clyde is like the friend you brought to a party who doesn't really know anyone else yet, but got a little too drunk. So he follows you for a bit, and sometimes he wanders off.
Yeah, he's like, and then you have his name in your phone like the next day. Who the fuck is this guy? And he just keeps showing up. Yeah, so that the energy you guys brought was on point. Excellent job.
Yeah, Todd, you really nailed it with how unpredictable Inky can be. You sure drove that point home good and hard. And Egghead, you had a lot of good fancy graphs and spectrometer readings and a lot of good information on Blinky there, but I still think it's a Clyde.
Wow. Kyle's ability to commit to the bit never fails. Some good vibes from me today, because this is the first episode of season 4, and if I do them in the first episode, I don't have to do them again for the rest of the season. I love that every season we start off with the most bullshit argument we can, whether it's what color Yoshi is the best color Yoshi or what Tetris piece is the best Tetris piece. And every time we do one of these retro games, I learn something new about the mechanics of the game, and that's kind of weird. Like, I learned about T-spinning last year, and this year I've learned that all of the ghosts have a different algorithmic movement. That's nuts, but
it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's actually very cool. I'm
100% gonna watch that video when we're done.
Yeah, anyone who's listening, I implore you to just look up Pac-Man AI.
We'll put a link in the footnotes or something too.
If future me remembers to do that, I certainly will. But if in case I don't, I was just like a 20-minute video on YouTube today, and it explains how basically you could create Pac-Man on a graphing calculator. But it explains how each of the ghosts are just programmed to look at a different target, and that target always changes. And that is the basis upon which we built all of our arguments today. So
great. I love to kick season 4 off on that level of content. Every time we come up with one of these questions, I'm like, man, this is the one that isn't going to work. And every time it works, and I'm grateful for that. But it is time for me to make a decision. And I will say that while I was on my way back from the HR office, I took a brief stop in the bathroom. And when I went into the bathroom, you did the thing that everybody does, where I used the bathroom with the window or the mirror of the medicine cabinet open. And then when I went to wash my hands, I closed the medicine cabinet. And behind me was an orange figure. And as soon as I turned around, I went to point at it and it disappeared. And that was when I realized that the ghost haunting DT Exclamation Point HQ is in fact Clyde. So Kyle, you're on the job. I'll leave it to you to take care of it. And I'm definitely not going to buy those power pellets, but I'll at least pay you to get rid of my ghost.
You can't afford the rest of us anyway.
I'll take care of them for you.
I was going to ask how many you consume before you looked in the mirror. Might be a side effect.
And with that, thanks for listening in to Debate This, and thanks for sticking with us as we enter season 4. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. You can also check us out on Patreon at DebateThisCast, where we should be uploading our first WandaVision watch-along podcast this weekend. Maybe?
I honestly have no idea.
All right. Yeah, we'll revisit that.
We'll revisit that.
Yeah. And last but not least, as we round out the first week of 2021, and most resolutions have been tossed to the side, allow us to pitch you a new resolution. This year, resolve to introduce yourself to strangers as, "Hi, my name is first name last name. I am a fan of Debate This, and you should be too. It'll likely go fine and make you tons of friends."
We dare you.
We double dog dare you.
Until next time, I'm Matt Cole.
I'm Todd Ghost Malone. Is that anything? Is that
It's not
It's
nothing.
not nothing.
It's fine.
his favorite? His hit song Circles, but spooky. Thomas.
That was worse. Salt circles
less
was
of a
what
thing.
you were looking for.
I'm Andrew. There is no Andrew, only Blindorphinus Kazul Henderson.
And I'm Kyle Ectoplasmum Harper.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.